Hey folks, Dave here. We're going to create a Halloween tea light step by step in Lightburn. And I know you've seen a lot of tea lights. Maybe you've seen some put together from box makers online. We're going to create this from start to finish ourselves, including the tabs and the slots. We're going to adjust for kerf. We're going to use some free vectors from the internet, and I'll drop links to those down in the description. A lot to learn on this one, and I think you'll really enjoy doing it. So let's just let's just get started. Let's go over and grab a polygon and hold your shift key down and just drag it out and let go. And we want to make this about 90 millimeters in height. So go up to the top and click on the lock and lock it. Make it 90. That gives us just over 3.5 inches. And click your arrow to select. Go ahead and just make it a cut line because it's not a tool. We're going to make some tools though. So I guess the first tool we want to make is some cross lines here. So grab the pencil, and if you watch the cursor, when it gets right on the corner, it'll turn to a crosshair. So left click, go down to the next corner, and it'll turn to a crosshair again. Let go of the mouse, click it once more on the left, then click it on the right, and it lets go. And then you can click your arrow. Anything else, and I end up drawing lines all over the page. So, all right, grab the pencil again and do the same thing on this corner. That one's a little bit off. I'm going to do Control Z and go back. If I make mistakes, I'm just going to leave them in here because I think that helps. That helps everybody to see what messed up and what the corrections are. And as long as the pencil is still selected, you can just keep going. Okay, so now we want to you got to hit your arrow up top, then select all of your lines. Let's group those together. Right click and group, and then go down to the bottom and click Tool. That way there's no output. If you look at the top right, there's no output for that. So now we want to make some slots for this, and we're going to make the slots. We're going to adjust for kerf and make the slots 19.5 by 2.5. So you can unlock your lock up top after you select your slot, and then just make a width of 19.5 and a height of 2.5. We're using 3mm plywood, so it'll make the slot tighter. The tabs. So the tabs we're going to make 20 by 3. Okay, so now we have this as a slot, and we will duplicate it a couple of times and just pull them over to the side. Okay, and now we want to set up a tool to use here. So we can just grab one of these and make it a little longer. Well, we'll put it down here. Okay, so you want to go. We're setting up something so we can offset where the tab will end up being. So if you take this and grab the edge. See the cursor change to a line when you get close to it, and you can snap it in. And then you can, excuse me, you can push Shift key and then select the outer edge. Don't select these tool lines. And then you can hit the vertical alignment and it'll line it up. And that also will be a tool. So select it and click T1. Then we're going to grab another one of these. And we're going to make it a tool as well. We just want to get it snapped right up to it. And then we're going to make it a tool. And then we're going to select the first one we put there. Shift and select, and then we'll just group these two together. Now we could start making slots. That one's actually a little bit off. I'm going to go Control Z and go back a little bit and see if I can line that up a little bit better. It probably wouldn't hurt, but that's how I do stuff. It takes a little bit to do this, but it is well worth the time. Okay, that's a little better. Maybe not perfect, but a little better. So Shift and select. Make it a tool and group them together. Now we can start making some slots. We're going to grab one of these and we're going to set it inside this second one. So now we're offset by that 2.5 here. We just want to be off the wall a little bit when we put our tabs in. So with that slot selected, then you can select the hexagon, Shift and select, and then you can group those two together. So now the slot we just put in there is grouped with the hexagon. So now we can select them together, go to the corner, get the corner so you can turn it, and then you want to turn and your slot stays with it. And then you can get your corners here lined up with the tools. And then you can just put another tab in place. And I can tell you from working with tabs and slots, this is a whole lot easier than some things I've done to get tabs and slots in place. So just duplicate this a couple of times so you have some more slots. And then just set one inside that second one just like that. Leave it selected, Shift and select the outside and then group again. And you're not grouping the tool, you're just grouping the slot to the hexagon. And then you could select, go to the corner and turn again. And we're just going to keep doing this until we have a slot on every edge. And then we'll be able to duplicate this whole piece to do our top with. So we won't have to go through all this trouble with the top. And other people may be doing this. I don't know. I've never seen it done. I just figured it out kind of by mistake and thought, hey, that works pretty good. So I'll do it. And here is the last one. So now, all of those should be grouped together. Maybe I didn't miss any. Yep, they're all grouped together. Okay, so we don't need that tool anymore. We can just get rid of that. And now we can duplicate this. Right click, select, right click, and duplicate. Now we've got a top and a bottom. Let's make a side piece, and then we can start working on some characters. And the characters are all free. They're on a free site, and I'll put links in the description so you can go get those and get a lot more to make your holiday projects. So, okay, grab a box and just drag one out. And I think we're going to make the width 40 millimeters. And the height will be 80. That gives us about 1.5 inches by 3 inches, something like that. And of course you can make them whatever you want to make them. Okay, so now we need to put some tabs on this. And we're going to make the tabs 20 by 3. So just grab a box, draw out a tab, click your arrow to select, and we will make it 20 by 3. So with the kerf, this tab is 3 millimeters. The slot is 2.5 millimeters, so it gives you a snug fit. You may have to use some glue, but it won't be much. Okay, so we have 20 by 3. So we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to bring the tab down. I'll scroll in a little bit. And remember, you can scroll in and out with your mouse wheel. You can push down on the mouse wheel and move the canvas around. You want to grab the edge and just get the edge of the tab, pull down to your side piece, and it'll snap in place. And then you want to select it, shift, and select the box, and then click vertical alignment. And always select the item that you want to move first. And sometimes you're in a situation that you need one or the other to select or move. So just be sure to select it first, then select the other, then do vertical. And then we're going to use the weld function to weld this to it. So you want to select the tab, shift, select the box, and then go over to the left and weld that to it. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just snap it to it, shift, select the box, vertical alignment, and then go over and hit weld. Okay, so we need 6 of these, but we're going to make 3 initially. We're going to put some designs on them, and then we'll duplicate them again. So the first design we'll do is the top. So let's go out. You import up here at the top, and we want to, I can find my folder here, get these jack-o'-lanterns, grab the corner and resize it. You can right click and ungroup this, and then we can get rid of some of these pieces we don't want. I don't think we need that. We don't need that. We're just going to use this jack-o'-lantern. So we will duplicate him first. Right click, duplicate, and then we just need the outside edge for the bottom because we want to be able to set a T-light. We want it to be large enough we can set it on a T-light. It was that or cut a circle out, so this works fine. And you can select your pumpkin, shift, select the bottom piece, and hit this bullseye, and it'll center it for you. Okay, so the bottom piece is done. So you can just grab these and group them together. Now for the top, I should have kept that pumpkin, but that's okay. I want to do something different for the top. So we're going to duplicate and do again what I just done. I don't need that eye. So we want to put this up here, but then we're going to suspend. I've done it again because I was going to make this one a little bit larger. If you wanted them the same, you could have just grabbed this bottom one and duplicated it. But I think we'll make it a little bit larger because we want to take a pumpkin and suspend it. And we're going to do that by using Union. Okay, so that one's a little bigger. So now we can go back and grab this pumpkin, bring it up, resize it a little bit. We want to have it kind of hanging in the middle so you can get light around it. And through the eye. So we're just going to let the stem kind of touch on the top like so. Then we're going to make a tab. So grab a box off to the left and just make a little tab. Flip it around. That'll make it a little bit longer. All we're going to do is weld this to the pumpkin so it'll stay suspended. So we're doing that first. We're only messing with the pumpkin. So we've got the tab. We're going to shift. I hope this is, well, first we got to group this together. So we group the eyes and everything because when you're working with weld or union, it has to be two objects that you're working with. I have seen weld work a little different, but in general, two objects. So select the pumpkin, then shift, select the tab, go over to the left, and click weld. So you can see how it's suspended, but now we've got to use union to attach the pumpkin to this. All right, So we want to select the outer portion first, then shift, select the pumpkin, go over to the left here to union, and that did not work, did it? So Control Z. I make mistakes all the time, folks. Let's select the pumpkin first, and then select the outer edge, and then hit union. And that didn't work either, so something's not connected properly. Let's find out what that is. See, so what happened, this is what I'm talking about, leaving these mistakes in. I failed to subtract this pumpkin from the top piece. So we need to use this function right here, subtract. We're subtracting from the top piece, so select it first, shift, select the pumpkin, and then go over here to subtract. And the way you know it worked is click away and then just touch the outer edge, and if it selects everything, what you've done worked. And then you can hit a preview, and I've got it on another screen, so let me get it right here. And this is what we're subtracting out. So it'll just cut that hole out. So now we want to add to that hole. We want to suspend this pumpkin right here. So now let's grab this pumpkin and do what we tried to do the first time. Suspend it, shift, select the outside, and click union. Okay, and that worked that time. So you can see it's attached at the top and at the bottom, and this is one independent piece now. Okay, now we want to put some on here. So we're going to make two of these. So what I'm going to do is over on this side, I'm going to Control Z and back up. And get these two pieces out. It'll help you to see it done twice anyway. I do stuff twice constantly. But that's okay. It's going to help us all. Alright, so now we're going to weld this back or subtract it. We're subtracting this from this. So we select the outer edge first, shift, select the pumpkin, come over to subtract, and we're good. And now we're going to weld this piece in and bring it back over, shift, select, Control Z, and then go to union and use union. If weld don't work, use union. It depends on what you're doing. It's real easy to get confused. Just don't get frustrated and keep trying. Alright, so now the bottom and the top are complete. So we're going to do one of these. Well, actually two of these sides will end up having the pumpkin in them. And we're going to basically do the same thing for this smaller piece. And then we'll be able to duplicate it and have two of these. Okay, so let's stretch this out as much as we can. Shift and select and hit the bullseye to center it. Now we want to subtract the pumpkin from the whole piece. So we're going to select the outside edge, shift, select the pumpkin, and then go over and hit subtract. And again, you know it worked if you touch the outside and everything selects. Now we're going to put the pumpkin in there and suspend it, just like we did on the larger piece. We just want to get some light coming through. It shows up pretty good with light. Shining, the pumpkin will shine on the ceiling, and some of the other pieces will shine on the wall. I wouldn't use a flame though. I'd use one of the battery lights. Okay, so select the pumpkin, shift, select the outside piece, and then click Union right here on the left. And we're good, and we know it worked because we can touch it. Okay, so we're going to add a bat, some bats in here. Let's go up here to the top left and import a bat. And most SVGs come in large like that, but don't start grabbing from anywhere to resize. Go to the corner and resize it, and it'll stay proportionate. Okay, we're going to use this bat a lot, so we're going to go ahead and duplicate it. Pull us one over here. Get us another one to use on the bottom. And just kind of place these wherever you want them. And now we can just group that together. You don't have to do the subtract. The only reason we had to do subtract the first time is so we could add this piece and suspend that piece in there. But you can select, right click, and group. And now we've got one piece. And we want two of these, so all we have to do is duplicate. And now we have the bottom, the top, and two of our sides done. Alright, so now we're going to do basically the same thing here, but it's slightly different. We're going to do a ghost and a raven. So let's go out here and get the ghost. He comes in big as well. Just move everything around the way you need it. Get him turned around and resized up. So now we've got to subtract this ghost, and you can stretch them around some too if you want to. If you want it to stay absolutely proportionate, then you have to pull from the corners. And after we get done, if you have questions, please just ask in the comment. I will answer whatever question I can. Alright, so now we have this one we're going to subtract, but we're going to copy it first, and we'll not forget this time. So right click and duplicate, pull it off to the side, and then we're going to subtract from this piece, and the piece you're subtracting from you have to select first. So select, shift, then select the ghost, go over to the left and subtract. And again, touch the edge and everything selects, and you can check the preview to see if it worked. So now we want to suspend this ghost inside of the other ghost. And we're just going to size him up as best we can so he is inside the other one. We just want some light coming through around the edges. So we're going to let him touch in a couple of spots. Skinny him up in other spots. kind of like so. And there is no right answer. So this is however you want it to look. And I think we've got them touching. Alright, so we should be able to shift, select the outer edge, and then go to union right there. Okay, and that doesn't show enough for me, so I'm on Control Z and back up. And we're going to try to do that a little better. We want some light coming in. You want to see some light escaping around it. So maybe that'll be a little more. So shift, select again, and union. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so now we will place the bats again. So we'll duplicate this guy a couple of times. Place them wherever you like. Group it together. And then duplicate. And we have two more sides done. Now we'll go get a raven and put on this last side. And all of these SVGs are free. And like I said, I'll put links to all of them, and just search around on the site and grab you a bunch of stuff for your holiday projects. Okay, so we're going to let this guy cut out, and we're going to duplicate and get us one to put inside. So we want to subtract the raven from the outside. So we select the outside first, shift, select the raven, go over to subtract, and subtract, come back and test it, and we're good. And now we want to put this guy inside. And just work around with it until it works for you. And as long as it touches somewhere on the side, it'll work. You may have to play with it a little while to get it to go exactly the way you want it. This one's a little tougher than the ghost. We're getting there. You just want some light coming around the edges so you can clearly tell that it's a bird. Well, yeah, this one's kind of tough. Let me pull him out here and see if I can resize him a little better. Maybe that'll work. We'll try that. All right, we're welding, so we can select the inner, shift to select the outer. We're doing a union, not a weld, union. So the second one from the top on the left. And there we go. We have a bird and a bird. So take your time with it, and yours can look much better. All right, we'll get these last two bats into place. We will group it together. And then we will duplicate. Okay, and now we will get it set to cut out. Okay, so we've got this set to cut out. I went back and made the characters look a little better. The bird and the ghost looked a little weird because of the way I had it touching. So I went back and changed it slightly. And I think that'll just make it look better overall. And I wanted to mention this speed and power I've got set is for a 40-watt laser, so adjust yours accordingly. And again, if you have any questions that I can help with, please ask me in the comments, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And so let me get set up in the laser, and I'll come back and frame it up and hit start, and we'll get this cut out and see what it looks like. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, folks, we're all set up in Lightburn. Let's get this cut out and see how it looks. Okay, folks, here's our creation. It turned out pretty good. Like I said, I did go back and reposition the raven and the ghost just to give a little more space around it and let some light out. I did put a little bit of glue on the bottom where the tab comes through the slot, just for longevity. Probably wasn't necessary right now, but just for longevity. So I enjoyed doing it. I hope you folks enjoyed watching. If there's questions I can answer as you're trying to do it, just drop them down in the comments and I'll do my best to get you an answer. I'll certainly try. We'll be doing probably some more Halloween, maybe some fall stuff, and certainly some Christmas when it comes up. So just check back often for new videos. Y'all take care, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.